Like a cactus.
Okay, continue.
In a desert. Desert. Is that a cactus in a desert? Jordan is dying laughing here.
I'm talking about now.
Oh.
Just because you got it.
Oh, you got it. Oh man, something burns. Man.
Yeah, it's the Chipotle mayonnaise sauce in your eyes.
But why?
Because you cooked?
No. Oh man. Now my eyes are Chipotle.
10 days until we pick Ella up from China. And today we are talking about China. We're talking about what it was like for Jing growing up in China in the late 80s, early 90s. So, Jing, where are you from?
Guangdong province.
Oh,
China.
yeah, the easy jeezy, the dirty south.
No, it's not dirty.
And what is different about that region of China?
It was the first region that opened up to the world in terms of international trade. So one of the famous cities is this port city called Shenzhen. I actually worked for the city before. So.
And also, the area where she is from is Cantonese. Very different language, very different culture, and very proud of their different culture.
Absolutely proud of it.
So, tell me a little bit about the unique situation you had growing up.
Like what?
Well, you grew up in communist China.
Well, to me, it was not unique. It was just part of
unique
China.
Relative to what Ella is currently experiencing in China.
Okay, I can probably start with being born. So that was reportedly the coldest day of the coldest year in January. And my mom was in the delivery room, and the room had no heat because in the south there's just no heat. Mao said, we don't have enough resources to heat up the entire China, so anybody who's south of this certain area, you don't get heat.
And is it south of the Yangtze River?
And my mom was in the delivery room. It's really just a shivering cold, and they were burning coal next to my mom's delivery bed and to keep the room warm. And the nurses was like shivering and said, oh my gosh, why the hell do you have to like have the baby tonight? It's so cold. Oh, why don't you just hurry up?
Does your mom remember that?
She told me, yes.
Wow.
That's what she told me.
And so...
And the nurses are not necessarily the nicest. Figure that out.
I thought your mom was complaining and then they were...
Oh, yeah. She was probably talking about how cold it was, and they were like, shut up and do your job. Or shut up and push, or something like that. Yeah, it's not nice people.
Kind of reminds me of my experience in the hospital in China.
Oh.
When I had an ingrown toenail, and was the doctor, and actually my student who was next to him was also a doctor and translating, and there were two nurses. The initial solution was to remove my entire toenail, and as my friend was kind of nodding like this, and then he would translate, no, it's the right side of the toenail. You don't need the whole thing.
Oh, so
and so
painful.
They took out the toenail, the left side of that toenail. That was not fun. The part that was really not fun is for the next week having to go back to the hospital every 1 to 2 days so they can get that cotton swab and go in.
Oh no! Oh.
And every time, the female nurses in Chinese, they were basically telling me to stop complaining. And I'm just grabbing the sides of the table. Like,
were they laughing at you?
Yeah, they were laughing because, I mean, what else could I do except for make fun of myself in the situation? But they were basically calling me a wuss and telling me to stop complaining. So after your birth, can you talk about the situation with your family living together?
Anyway, so my dad was a librarian there. He was not paid that well, and the dorm that he got from the school was actually very small. But because I was born, traditionally the father's mom would come and help out. So my grandma from my dad's side actually came and helped out taking care of me with my mom. When my mom was like during the confinement month, and that is something too. There are so many things to cover in Chinese culture.
The confinement month, if I understand, generally speaking, is after birth. You basically can't leave your house.
Oh, you can't. Traditionally, you can't even leave your bed. You can't
Can you
open the
shower?
window. No, you can't open the window. You can't shower. There shouldn't be any wind in the apartment.
Messes with the feng shui.
Qi.
Huh.
And you need to stay in bed all the time. You can't wash your hair for 1 month. You can't brush your teeth.
But you could get the showers with like ginger water, right?
Yeah, my parents actually peeled.
But that's considered a shower.
Yeah, but like they believe this is like the modern solution for it, and then they actually peel like buckets of ginger, and they boil water with the ginger, and then have me shower with the boiled ginger water. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And I couldn't touch any cold water. I was not allowed to lift anything heavy. It's just I was supposed to be pampered, and I was not allowed outside. But I'm like, no, not really. Anyway.
So your dad being a librarian or something?
Yeah. So the dorm that the school assigned to my dad was so small that it probably only fit like two people with a baby. So when my grandma came, it was my grandma, my mom, and me in that small room, and my dad had to move to the library to sleep. So that was for like a few months.
When was this? How old?
Right after I was born. And so yeah, they were like sleeping in separate rooms or like separate locations. My dad was sleeping in the library of the school. Yeah.
And you were at the house or at the dorm?
I was at the dorm that was so small that wouldn't fit another adult.
Yo, you never told me this.
I know, I never told you that.
You told me about the other situation.
Yeah, so at some point when I was probably 4 or 5 years old, my parents somehow didn't have any housing arrangement. So what they could afford was a room that could only fit one king-size bed, one desk with one chair. So actually I spent at least 1 year living with my parents in that very small area, and we shared a kitchen with the entire building. And we
shared a kitchen?
Yeah, with the entire building.
I thought it was previously one floor. Wow.
No, I think it's more than one floor. Anyway, and then we had to like pee in a little bucket, and if we had to, I don't remember where we shower. Maybe we had shower, but we have to like do number 2. We had to go to a public bathroom.
So you shared the public bathroom with the whole
community
of the whole building?
No. That's the public bathroom.
So this is like late 80s?
Yes. And then at some point we had no place to stay, so actually my aunt took us in. So we share probably a few months to a year with my aunt and her family, and it was just, we were always forever so grateful. And actually that particular aunt actually quit her study to support my mom to continue her school, and that aunt went to like a construction site to work as a construction worker to earn money to support the family, particularly to so that my mom could stay in school, because their dad said that, okay, we need somebody who's educated in this family. My mom was the one that had the best grade. So my mom's older brother and older sister had to both quit school and work and support the family so that my mom could go to school. That was not me growing up, but that was my mom growing up, and it was much worse. And I think that, growing up in that kind of situation or environment actually lays down the foundation of me being able to tolerate a little bit more than the average people out there, because I understand that people needs time to fight, people needs time to pursue their dream. So I'm all supportive of that. My parents are like that, they eventually got out of the situation, and they gradually build up their wealth, and they're doing really well right now. I was brought up being taught that you don't just buy the first thing that you see on the shelf. If you want, so my mom sent me out to buy a bottle of soy sauce. And I actually went to 3 stores in the neighborhood to compare the price of the soy sauce. And I got the cheapest. But it's the same brand, same soy sauce, but I was able to knock the price down for less than 1 RMB. But that meant a lot to me. Growing up in that kind of environment really empowered me to be more endurance. Is that the word?
Sure.
Anyway, it's like a cactus in the desert that you don't need much water, you survive.
All right.
Jordan is dying laughing again.
No, I'm not dying laughing. You're a cactus in a dessert.
Desert.
Okay, my little cactus in a dessert.
So, if you have any comment on the content, please comment below and like and subscribe right here and follow our journey as the hybrid family. So my dad was actually a librarian of a normal university, a university that teaches students to become teachers.
That's it. So what are the abnormal universities?
The universities that Jordan goes to.